broadcasting from the depths of outer space.
Hello, I'm alive. I don't know what's going on.
By your command.
Fascinating.
God damn you all to hell!
It's the Solar Sci-Fi Podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 53 of the Solar Sci-Fi Podcast, episode 53.
Whoa.
And I'd like to present my co-host, Michael Ball, who comes from the far future, from another dimension in the deep recesses of the universe, within a black hole, in a quantum singularity, and a paradox himself. Welcome, Michael Ball. How are you?
Hello, Martin. I'm fine, thank you. Not bad at all. Thank you for that big intro. Always makes me feel special. How have you been? How's your week been? What have you been up to since we last chatted?
Nothing special, really. Nothing really major. It's nothing.
The vaccine started to be deployed now in the UK.
Yeah, there's been some problems, haven't there?
Oh, it's bullshit. It's just a couple of people who had a slight rash or something.
People,
have
nervous reactions.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about that. I mean, I'd rather have. I mean, it's only they said that the people who've had that are people who are prone to getting that from jabs anyway. So I'm not worried about that.
But already the propaganda.
Oh yeah, they're going to start saying. I mean, that poor old lady, the one that looked started crying, the first one to have it in the UK or in the world. I mean, if she gets ill or just by coincidence or anything. I mean, that's it. She could ruin the world if she gets a cough or something. That might,
Yeah, I watched some American news the other day, and they're watching it very closely. I think it was CNN. It were on there.
Yeah,
and it said today in the UK they're vaccinating their population. It showed you that old lady.
Yeah,
and they're watching it very closely. Very closely.
Well, you can't blame them. I mean, in the end,
but Canada's authorised it.
Yeah. So I heard that what was it? Someone else in the world has had it as well. I can't remember. But I get this news thing every day. CNN's 5 Things. It's like an email I get about 11:15 every day. And it's it's not specifically just to America. Although it's America, it also talks about other things. But yeah, they're full of it this morning. They were full about the CNN's 5 Things, and of course they're saying that we've had our first jabs over here, and it's really looking quite bad in certain parts of the states, i.e. California, where they're going on to lockdown again. And it's all very, very. It's just so sad for them.
We might be moving to tier 3 here.
Yeah, I mean, I was checking. In London, it's starting to get bad again, isn't it? Yeah, I think we're on 2 at the moment. So I know that you're on 2 at the moment.
Yeah, it could be by Monday.
It could be. Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is now, I mean, a lot of people are saying, look, why don't you just let the kids finish school like a day or 2 early so that there's a period before Christmas where they're less likely to spread it to other people or something if they're not at school that day? I don't think it will happen. But, I mean, how do you foresee it over Christmas? Do you see it getting quite bad again? How will it affect you?
For me, I don't know, because it changes day to day. Yeah. I mean, it just changes. I mean, half the time you don't know what's going on with politicians. They're all waffling shit all the time.
Yeah, well, that's what politicians do, isn't it? I mean, that's part of the nature of what they do.
I don't know. But I'm reading now that we could be going into tier 3, but we'll have to wait and see. It's just, what can you do?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean,
you shut the door, put Netflix on, and sit there and wait till spring. What else are you meant to do?
Well, we've got the Mandalorian and Star Trek Discovery to keep us going, plus a Doctor Who special, which is good.
Fucking whoopee do.
Well, yeah, but it's better. Yeah, but you have months with jack shit on. I mean, like I said, I mean,
that's true.
You know, I mean, I personally, I mean, having Star Trek, Doctor Who, and Star Wars all new stuff within the next few weeks. To me, it's a lot. Yeah. Andrews finishes next week. I know, and we're going to be. Oh my god.
Discovery.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, mate. I've not been impressed with that.
I know. Well, let's. Shall we go into the news and then we'll talk about both those respective shows, because I really want to talk about your opinion about that. This is anything else.
Well, I mean, look. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in my bunker. I'm going to come out with a big beard. In 6 months' time, I'm going to have hairs all over me, and then I'm going to step into sunlight like one of them sci-fi movies.
Are you going to be like
for the first time?
Are you going to be like on Castaway, where in the end he's talking to his beach ball or whatever it is, and he's sort of
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You're going to be like that,
I'm
are you?
doing that now. I'm doing that now. I've got a blow up doll.
You got to blow up doll? Did you say? I don't want to know about that. Let's not share that, because people are going to be. That's going to be slurring your good image for the rest of time. Let's hit the jingle and go to the news and move swiftly on. Here we go.
Working.
Solar Sci-Fi
News.
Right. So this week, yes, I guess as usual, the two main things I want to talk about are Star Trek Discovery and The Mandalorian, which we've both seen. All right, I'll ask you, Martin, which one of those do you want to talk about first?
It's like, do you choose the good or the bad? So you go for the bad.
Yeah,
first,
go on. And I wonder which one of those it's going to be that you're going to be choosing in that. Oh,
Well,
that Mandalorian
I've
was
tried.
terrible. That Mandalorian was terrible. No, I know you get to about Discovery. You tried. What do you think of Discovery this week?
I've tried. I'm just getting sick
Oh,
of it.
no, it's really... Do you know what? I have to say, I thought the season, like I said to you before, I thought it started off well, but the last few episodes...
I did.
It just feels like it's padding. It doesn't feel like it's really going anywhere. Yeah, I mean, there's a two-parter called Terra Prime or something coming out this week. It's... I don't know. I'm hoping that in the last 5 episodes I've got left, it's going to sort of take a turn and make up for. It's just been a bit stagnant in the last few episodes. Nothing has really stood out for me, it definitely is. It's lost some points in the recent episodes. So the last episode. Another month.
Yeah, I mean, it was all right. I mean, they've just... I don't know what's... Look, I mean, obviously there's something going on with Federation. There's people... Because people said they don't do things for nothing, I mean, we're getting little hints. There's something not right with the Federation.
Yeah. So you think there's something...
Yeah, because we're getting the hints now. There's a couple of people have said...
I was going to say, we're hearing something. Now, we're hearing apparently that we're going to be linked up with the Kelvin universe of all things. I don't know how they're going to do that. And we see, in the clip of next week's show, we see it looks like a Iridium. It's not Iridium, but dressed up in a first or second season TNG uniform, which is quite bizarre. But he's got the wrong com badge. He's got the DS9 Voyager com badge, even though it's the Next Generation era. So again, continuity is not moving.
They're shoving it all in there just to keep you interested.
Well, yeah, when I saw that in the trailer, I thought, oh, now that's interesting.
I'm just not bothered about Easter eggs anymore.
Yeah, but Mandalorian Easter eggs are a whole different ballgame when you get one.
Suddenly you're fascinated.
Well, yeah, I know. I mean, the thing is, you see, now it's strange this because I've always considered Star Trek probably my favourite ever series, closely followed by Doctor Who and Stargate. Yeah. Star Wars I've always loved, but in the past, of course, for so many years, there was just those 3 films. Yes. And when you rate those 3 films against the almost 800 episodes and films all total together of the Star Trek franchise, then that's why Star Trek wins. Now, with Star Wars in recent years, with all this new stuff coming on, it's just blown, for me at least, everything out of the water. So,
well, they've proven the fact that they can take the minor characters,
I know,
and take them out of the main supporting films and put them in their own TV series and look at what's going on.
I mean, I read today that the guy, I can't remember his name, his character, the guy in Rogue One who died at the end, the Mexican character.
Yeah, he's getting a series.
They've started filming in London. They're filming this prequel to Rogue One, which is so exciting.
Obi-Wan started in Boston as well.
Oh, this is fantastic. Star Wars is just, I can't sing its praises enough.
But Discovery, I mean, old Mickey Burnham, I'm fed up of her and that boring relationship with him.
Oh, Booker, his name is.
I mean, I thought he had some potential, but now I'm starting to think...
Yeah. Well, look,
there's no charisma in it.
I think what we need to do is, I actually think that partly the problem is that our expectations are always being exceeded by The Mandalorian. And, it might be that if we'd have watched Discovery without Mandalorian...
$8 an episode, I mean, you're expecting, and you're paying for it as well. You're expecting quality.
Yeah, how much is it per episode?
I think it's $7 or $9 million an episode is Discovery.
Well, how come they had the episode with the Vulcans and Romulans? They're just sitting on the ship with a couple of little sort of urn things.
That's what they do. I wanted to go down to Vulcan. We never did.
Well, I know. I know. I don't know.
And then we got to meet the Orions and that big. I mean, that would. I just sat there and said, "Oh, we can't attack it," but you know.
Oh, and he was sitting there. And also, don't you want to see what the new Discovery firepower would be like? Actually, have a space battle. He just sat there.
But then suddenly, let's send the ensign out. But she went rogue, and then we'll tell her off.
Do you remember the first time we saw the Defiant open up its phasers in the episode of Search?
I
had jaw drops. I mean, it was like a machine gun in phasers.
The firepower of that ship.
I went, oh my. Me, I mean, it's like, you know, I mean,
full phaser.
Oh my god!
Going off.
I mean, how? I mean, that's just, the thing is, that was the beginning of the third. That was the third season of DS9.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
this is the third season of Discovery, and it's not working. It's not working.
It's not doing it. I always stick to the third season line.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking.
But, so far, unless
it could turn round. It could turn round for the last 5. It could do. There's two-parter coming up.
I'm sat on the fence still.
So at the moment we're a bit sort of like okay, this is, but let's just see, and then we'll make a proper full rundown of the whole season.
I think we should dedicate a full show to it.
Yeah, I could do a special one. We could do a season 3 review. I mean, I know we've done the show before, but I don't mind recovering a show, doing a different graphic.
I'd like to recover it. And then
I think that, and obviously the Mandalorian. Go on.
I have some news about the burn.
I think I know what it is as well, but you say what you think.
Gang.
Well, no, of course not. No, because people are thinking it's that episode, that Trek Short Calypso, the alternate, and it's actually from, maybe you've heard it from a different thing, but there's the short with Calypso, which was Discovery in the future, and it was before the refits, and they think it's because of that. Something to do with the Discovery is the thing that causes the burn in an alternate timeline.
No, I thought you might have seen this. I thought you might have.
Oh, maybe something else you've heard.
I've got another one. I have another theory here.
Okay, go on.
From Screen Rant, Star Trek theory: Discovery original villain caused the burn.
Lorca. Yeah, I saw that as well.
Yeah. Oh, you've seen it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, I mean, is it the Mirror Lorca or is it our Lorca? You know, because of course.
Well, I think it's a bit Mirror Lorca. I mean, because don't forget he fell into mycelial network.
Yeah. So he could. It seems a bit of a stretch though if he also ended up 1,000 years in the future, independently of Discovery.
I mean, what's going on with there? What's going on with Giorgio? I mean,
but there's an interesting thing about that because there's people are saying now that if you're out of the mirror universe into the alternate or our universe for long enough, that you start to have mental issues. You have to physically get damaged from it because
they did that in Stargate, didn't they?
Yes, where
the faces were shaking.
Empathic trope
syndrome. Through that
something
mirror.
like that. There's something they called it. It's Cascade syndrome, something like that. Oh, that's great. I love that episode. And that was short. And of course, also proximity to your other mirror universe twin also made it speed up with Samantha Carter's character. Yeah. Empathic something syndrome.
But they did say in that nebula where this burn thing originated from, there was a starship in there.
There's a Federation starship. So it's either going to be alternate Discovery or it's going to be like the Enterprise X or something. I
bet it's them that did it. I bet it. I think it's got something to do. You know, when she fired that time soap back into Vortex.
Yeah.
I bet it's something to do.
I'll tell you what I'd like. They've also mentioned the ship, and it's also appeared technically in 2 other Star Trek series. What about the Defiant? The NCC one, the 1071, the Constitution Defiant, which ended up in the Tholian web. It went back in time and then that ended up in the mirror universe. Oh, I don't know. We're just talking about this sort of...
Do you know I'd like? I mean, if this thing gets any worse, I want Q to turn up and judge humanity.
Oh, I know.
But it turns up on Bridget Discovery. Looks.
I want to like.
It's over.
I want to like this series more. I really do because I'm a huge. It's just. I don't know. I just recently.
There is. I mean, as much as like you and I are in and out with it, there is an audience for it.
Well, I'm glad.
I mean, we might not agree with what's going on. I mean, I've spoken to a few people this week, and they can't stand the programme. But I've said to them, I said, we might not like it, but there seems to be an audience. I want to try and be
fair-minded.
And they're paying for it as well.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I want to be balanced. I'm not a person who's going to be slagging off, but I'm also not going to be.
No, I'm not.
You know, I'm open. I'm open to each episode, and most episodes I think, oh, okay, that was all right. You know, it's all meh sort of episodes. It's all kind of
there's no like.
I mean, every episode of The Mandalorian has just practically just blown me away. I literally. Oh, well, we are going to go to The Mandalorian in a second, but let's finish off Discovery. But it's just, for me, it's just not... It's kind of just trying to get going. It's like, like on those war films where, like, the plane's crashing and they're trying to get the engine spinning around to get it going and sort of go... And then it's sort of gliding down. And you just want the engine to get going and then it flies upwards. And at the moment, it feels like engine's not quite ticking to get it going. That's how I think of Discovery Season 3 at the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's stalling.
I think there is potential with it. I'm not saying there ain't there.
I know.
I'm a big fan of Saru. I like Saru.
Yeah, I like Saru as well. I think
people have complained about certain parts of it this week, but I did bat an eyelid to it. And, saying it were all a bit... What is it, PC and that? But I don't look at it that way. To me,
well, Star Trek has already been very PC for things like.
It's 1,200 years in future. People have moved on beyond stereotyping, and that's the way of the world. And I didn't bat an eyelid to it. I just watched it. I'm more interested in the background story of what's going on. I'm not interested in what they're putting there to be patronising. I don't care. I want a decent story. And I want to be excited for it next week, and it's not happening.
Not yet. No.
I'm paying for it as well. So.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, let's just see what happens. Like I said, it's still.
I'm gonna get it a day later as well, which is bloody enough.
Yeah, I know.
Got it a day later. They all got it in America before us. It's bloody annoying.
I know. Well, let's just see. I mean. Like I said, next week's. Have you seen the trailer for next week's? Do you know anything about it?
No. What is the trailer for next week?
Well, the only thing I know is that we do see what a character looks like a Uridian. It's not Uridian. We've seen this race away.
In the yellow Star Trek.
In the yellow TNG Season 1 uniform, but they've got the wrong combat.
Another Easter egg to milk it again. I mean, for God's sake, how many Easter eggs are we keep shoving in there?
Yeah,
we've got the burnt out phaser and the knackered next generation.
We saw a Picard com badge last week as well.
Oh, we did, and the burnt out phaser.
The TNG phaser as well. Yeah,
I'm just fed up of it. We've had all that first season. Let's move. I've even forgiven for Klingons.
Well, they're not mentioning it. I mean, we don't know what's going on with them. I mean, the Romulans. They've got the Romulans good. I thought the Romulans looked good this the other week. They look good. I like the Romulans, but. Well, look, let's just see. So, out of 10, what would you give the last episode of the...
6. I'll give it a 6, and that's being generous.
Yeah.
Hopefully this week I could get it up to a 7 or an 8. I'd be happy.
I'll give it a 6.5, maybe at the most, similar to you. Yeah, that's fine. Right. At this point, we have to turn to a different series that we're also following. The episode called The Tragedy by The Mandalorian. What did you think of it?
My God, it just keeps getting better, doesn't it?
Oh my God!
I can't believe what I was seeing.
I know. Absolutely.
I can't believe what I was seeing. Fat Boba Fett,
No, do you know what? I heard
Everybody
that.
said he's put weight
I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it that much, but I'm not that bothered.
I didn't until I started reading it.
I'm not that bothered. I never noticed it. But then the fact is, he's older. He might have gained weight for whatever reason.
Well, he's been stuck in a salad.
Yeah, well, we don't know. I mean, and so I'm not bothered about it. And the fact of the matter is that he still had plenty of good moves. They was going to find something to have a go at everything about. So if he's a bit larger, well, so what? I couldn't give a toss. I mean, his character was great.
He's elder man. He'd be in his 60s now. Good luck to him. I kicked ass on that film.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, again, it's like a film rather than a TV show. Of course, we saw the Slave One fly, and my jaw dropped when I saw the Slave One in the distance. That wonderful sound it makes when it flies. And then we had the character from the first season. I can't remember her name, but she was an actress who also appeared in Stargate Universe. She was back. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
She's lovely.
She was good.
She's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, okay, I've not seen that. So she was great. So what did you think about them teaming together? Moff Gideon again capturing Baby Yoda, the Dark Troopers. I mean, it couldn't have been any better, really, could it? I mean, this show, it's just crazy. It's just crazy good.
Do you know the bit that blew me away when his ship got vaporized?
I could not believe it. I'm a ship guy, as you know, and I even 3D printed a Slave One afterwards because I've already got the Razor Quest on top of my speaker. I was gutted about. I couldn't believe it.
I sat there, thought, my God, they've just vaporised.
I mean, it's like the Millennium Falcon being destroyed or something. And some people saying,
it's
some people saying,
thing.
and then again the negativity. Some people say, Boba Fett, and they say, oh, we hate the Slave One, not the Slave One, the Razor Crest, because it looked it looked like a camper van. I was like, that's sod off. It was a bloody good. It was a great design. It was really
it's one
distinctive.
Of them spaceship that's a piece of junk, but
it stood out. It reminds me of like the Liberator from Black 7, or it stood out in its own right. And the thing is, a ship is always. Now I was thinking about this, right? Any other Star Trek series or any other major series, they do not blow up the signature ship. This is a first. They've never done that before. I've never remembered it. Obviously, in films, it's different. But this is a continuing story. They blew up his ship.
I know. I was sat there having a cup of tea watching it. And
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
There were a big punch up, with Stormtroopers and all that. They just got massacred.
That's it.
And then ship just got blown to bits. And I was sat there. All I saw was smoke and bits of metal flying.
Yeah, it was completely gone, and it was completely destroyed. Apart from the Beskar saber.
Oh, the spear, yeah.
Spear and the little ball bearing thing that goes on the handle. I just couldn't believe it.
I love that ship because it's got a toilet on board. They always shut.
I was thinking about you when I saw that. I thought of you thinking about the toilet, and it's the only ever Star Wars toilet's got destroyed.
Sense,
but it's gone now. Before they blew up the toilet. No, it was a really. I mean,
and what about little baby? I know everybody keep calling him baby.
Grogu, Grogu, whatever, both.
Oh, little Grogu trapped in that room, and them awful fucking stormtroopers trying to get him.
Yeah, but he defended himself.
He just put him in shackles.
His tiny baby shackles.
So cute.
Yeah, but it was. I like the nice reuse of the stun on the gun, which was exactly the same sort of like circular from Princess Leia. Yeah, I loved it. Again, continuity, 100%. You know, this is where I think actually this is the whole problem with Discovery. It's just not sticking with canon. You know, it's got its own vibe, and all right, I know they're in the future, but there's just something not quite right with it. But this series is
it's out of sync. But whereas this thing, the Mandalorian, it's so in sync.
It's just incredible.
The last 3 films should have been.
Yeah, I mean, and I still like the sequels. I still think they're okay, and they still feel, although they did some wrong directions. I still rate it. Okay.
I came to the conclusion that with the film now, obviously I read a few chapters of the book of the film on the internet. It explains a lot more about how the Emperor jumped out, and think about Snoke's purpose as well, why we were created, and you get a lot of answers. And if you put these bits into the film, and like I've sort of heard the Mandalorian is tied into the last film, I could be wrong.
Sure, yeah.
But if you build in a universe around the last 3 films, and because obviously that film's in the Mandalorian's future, the last film.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna get. I think the last 3 films will somehow sort of could make a lot more sense.
Well,
that with the universe being built around it with answers,
they can fix the problem. The thing is, a lot of people who hated the prequels said that the Clone Wars patched up a lot of issues, and that's why now the Clone Wars have actually made the prequels seem better. I actually don't mind the prequels. They're not for everybody, but I still.
It's funny. All these years later, you're quite.
I mean, Revenge
because history's been built around it.
And Revenge of the Sith is still my favourite Star Wars film. I hate to admit that, but
I love that film, mate. I think that film
is absolute masterpiece. I mean, it makes Star Wars. You know,
I think Rogue One played a big thing as well.
Well, Rogue One, of course, is in between episode 3 and 4.
It links things together, and I think if you go like the Mandalorian and Obi-Wan and
if they do this, I think the thing is, hopefully all the same people who are doing those series have done the Mandalorian, and if they have, then it'll be fantastic. Yeah,
the cartoons, and when you start putting it all together into some kind of big order, then you're getting a much bigger picture of a much bigger.
Well, I'm still watching the Clone Wars. I'm up to season 2, about halfway through. I've actually got.
What I mean. because you're going to see things in that.
Yeah, which are
that
already
is
coming
gonna
up
start
in The
making
Mandalorian.
sense
I know, exactly.
In the prequels.
Yeah, and the prequel. I know. It's all held together. And if they could do more links between now the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy through The Mandalorian, which I think they're going to do, I think that's fascinating. I think
they could save the last.
I actually do. I think they could. Yeah, I think they could do some damage repair to the sequels, and then of course once it's explained, and I actually quite confident they will. I really have confidence with the people that are making this series, and I can't wait to see what happens. I literally am counting down the days every day until Friday to see the next episode of Mandalorian, because I can't wait. I cannot believe. Sorry, we're going to move on because we just sing this show's praises too much, but I just think
we're big fans of it, brother. We are big fans.
Oh well, this is one of the best series I've ever seen in my life. I think. I mean, it's just for what it's done. I mean, I love all the Star Trek. Not so much
the music. Do you like the music?
I love the music.
I love that music.
The music is fantastic. Everything, the production, I can't fault it. The one fault, and you said it before, is some of the episodes are a little bit too short.
Yeah. That I think I remember.
That is,
last time
we talked about. That's the only
series,
thing. Yeah,
we watched the first couple, and we both said, well, that were only 30 minutes long, and that's a problem. That annoyed me.
But you can, if you watch it all in one go, it's basically like it's a whole season. It's like an extra long Star Wars film.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I've not watched it yet in one go.
I'm going to do that.
I want to get to end of season 2.
My son and I, we're going to have a Mandalorian Sunday where we're going to sit there all day. Like, he loves it. He's absolutely bonkers on it.
Fantastic.
So I'd suggest you do the same. I mean,
that's what I'm going to do.
Go for it. If you get some mates around or something, get a few beers and just have a Mandalorian day. I think that'd be cool.
I might not be doing that because it could be in tier 3 by then.
Oh, well, next year then, at some point in the future.
I will. I've got Doris.
Doris, okay.
Doris.
Well, okay, but that'll keep you going. No, that's all right. Well, invite Doris around and she can have a cup of tea or something.
Dressed up as a stormtrooper.
Whatever takes her fancy. Oh, don't. Right, what other news have you got this week?
Family show.
No, it's fine. Go on. I've got that image in my head now. What other news have you read this week? Have you come across much in the way of other non-Mandalorian news?
Well, I've got some. There's Spider-Man 3 Daredevil star Charlie Cox reportedly joins cast. Also, the first 2 Spider-Men. What was it? Tobey Maguire and Stephen Garfield, who did the last 2. Apparently, they're going to be in the next Spider-Man film. Okay. I don't ask them, but they're bringing all the Spider-Man back. It's all to do with multiverse and alternative realities, so they're shoving them all together.
Great.
That's that. Looks like Daredevil has been saved. And in Spider-Man again, Dr. Octopus, Spider-Man 3 brings back Alfred Molina's Dr. Octopus.
I love that name.
From the Raimi books.
Dr. Octopus. Yeah. I don't know anything about Dr. Octopus, but I just think that's an awesome name. He is Dr. Octopus. I don't know why, I just like that. I just think that's quite a cool name for some reason. But I don't know, I'm not into that sort of stuff. But yeah, sounds good.
And in space news, they mapped, scientists just mapped 1 million new galaxies.
Yeah, in Australia. Yeah, they was it? How many was it? 40 million, wasn't it? Something like that.
No, 1 million new galaxies in 300 hours.
I thought it was 40 million.
Oh, well, this has just come out now, and maybe it's changed. But my God, that's incredible.
Yeah, I heard about that. I mean, they for some reason they've just done it
in Australia. You're right.
Yeah,
it was mapped 83% of the observable universe in just 3 hours, and they said there's more beyond that.
I think it was something like 40 million, not stars, 40 million galaxies.
God, that's
40
incredible.
million galaxies when you've got billions of stars in each galaxy. Does that make you feel small when you're doing this podcast?
It does. It makes you look at all our problems on this planet and realise how insignificant.
And it makes it makes certain things. Actually, I was going to go politically then, but I changed my mind. But it makes certain things. I stop myself. Then that's one thing I've learned. Is do not go political. No. I was going to say something. I thought no, and I suddenly put the blind. But it does make certain aspects in the world seem less important and less worrying in the grand scheme of things.
This Elon Musk, they cancelled the launch yesterday. He's trying to launch the first of the test Starship
Oh right, they cancelled it, did they?
They cancelled it. I think it's the shell of it because obviously the cockpit's 8 stories high.
Right.
And they've got it on top. I think they've got like a prototype on top of the new rocket that takes it up. It's massive.
Right.
And they want to get it up 7 miles and then land it again like they're doing. It's still going on, so I assume it next day or so. Today it's going to be
that'd
long.
be interesting because that'd be massive.
I've been checking in on the channel, but nothing's happened yet.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, like I said, it's nice to sort of share some real space news, and of course,
see that go. I mean, apparently that's going to hold 100 people and go to Mars. Apparently.
Yeah, but that'd be huge if it actually. So, I mean, how high is it going to launch up? It's just like obviously going
7
up,
miles,
and then it'll come back down and land again, I assume.
Yeah, and then obviously they'll probably go for like 20 miles. They're doing it in stages, aren't they?
But this is the first official liftoff of a.
Yeah,
that sounds
the
interesting.
actual Starship. Yeah.
Wow, I want to see it actually. What does it look like? Does it just look like a conventional rocket?
I can send you the link.
Yeah,
the
send
channel.
it over if you don't mind. If you've got the chance.
Do it. Oh, actually, I'll just
Thank you. Just do it on the messenger thing. For some reason, I did hear about it vaguely, but I think I've seen you post 1 or 2 things about it. But I'm certainly interested about
I'm
that.
really excited. I want to see it launch. I'm really.
I just hope if it goes wrong, then that's going to be terrible. I really hope it just has a successful launch and land again. But these new ships of landing, of course, remind me very much of so many sci-fi films where you see those rockets land properly. So it sounds very exciting.
I've got one channel here. I'm going to share it with you now.
Chuck it over on the Emerson. Let's have a look. Let's have a butcher.
Here we go. Sharing it now.
Okay.
Hang on. Just. Do you want it as a message? All right, hang on. Share a message. And.
Let's have a look at this. This looks interesting. They must have an official YouTube channel. I'll have to subscribe to it.
I think this is what I'm going to send to you now.
Okay, cool.
Here we go. Right, I'm just sending it. I should have it. Attachment not found. Attachment could not be found. What's going on there? Have you got it?
Nope, got nothing.
I don't know what's going on there.
What's the YouTube channel called?
Hang on. YouTube channel. Let me try again.
Okay.
I don't know what went on there.
Maybe your Wi-Fi's playing up or something.
No, it came up. Said,
please stand by, gentlemen.
that's going attachment not found. That's crazy.
Okay.
I'll have to go back to the other dude.
Okay.
Right,
Well, let's
try.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm sending it now.
Okay.
Right, here we go. Right. No, it's Facebook. Not having it.
All right. So what's the channel called?
The channel is Everyday Astronaut.
Everyday Astronaut. Okay, everyday. Oh, so Q&A updates only. Just going into it. Oh, okay. It looks like a sort of like a bit like a lighthouse.
I've shared your Facebook page.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've got it. Shared it on my timeline. Okay, that's cool. Thank you for that.
I've shared it to you. Send it as a message. I don't know why.
Attempt
but
to
I've
space.
shared it.
No, that's fine. Don't worry. SpaceX Starship SM8.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it looks pretty cool. It looks like
It does. You want to see the fins on the side. There's other channels where you get close up.
Yeah, SpaceX. Oh, look at that Starship SM8.
I've just gone to the second one. It's a much clearer picture. It's like a rough design. God, it's like something out of future.
Yeah, it does look a bit.
I'll share this one to your channel.
Starship SM8. That's right. I've just gone into Google and typed it in. Here we are. I've got some graphics of it now. Yeah, it looks like a massive bomb. It's huge.
It reminds me of one of them Flash Gordon rockets.
Yeah, it looks like a retro. It looks like a retro rocket. It doesn't look like a normal rocket, and it's big. Oh, I hope it doesn't go wrong, because if it does, yeah, that's a really cool design. It's quite, yeah, I like that. Yeah, for some reason I've not seen that, but I do like the design of it.
Well, they're going to launch it. The top section's meant to be 8 stories high.
Wow. So
apparently they're going to put the weights for all equipment and crew. I
you
don't
can
know.
tell it's made because it's really thick. I mean, think of the Apollo rockets are quite thin and this looks like a fat rocket, doesn't it? It's like it's cool. I like it.
Well, they must have worked it out. I mean, how many people are going to be on board, and because you got to feed these people and you got to keep them active for 2 years.
But they also must have really new, because I mean the engine when it's showing it's quite a small engine, so it must have huge maybe new engines are more powerful or something. I don't know how they can do it.
Well,
now.
The technology is definitely accelerated. I mean, I'll read some article that come up with this plasma drive and get it there in 6 months now.
And it doesn't even seem to need boosters or anything like.
Sure. That obviously this is like the frame.
Yeah, this is interesting. This is showing that there could be. It shows that it's possible that getting into space is going to get easier. If you could transfer something that big up there, that's really interesting. All right, well, we'll keep an eye on that, but that looks really good.
Yeah, sure. There you go. So I mean, it does look spectacular to look at. Absolutely.
Right, what else have we got? Oh, actually, I've got some piece of news. Doctor Who is filming at the moment. The Sontarans are back. This looks alright. I mean, Sontarans are okay. I don't know. Like I said, this is another one of those series where I don't really get very excited anymore, which I used to do, which is a shame. And it shows just Yaz and the Doctor, because obviously we know that Bradley Walsh and the other guy, Ryan, I think his name is, going. So, bring it on. I mean, it's nice to see that some of our favourite shows are in production, but I still want to know but when Mandalorian Season 3 goes into production, because that's the series that at the moment is my highlight of the year. And also the Orville, of course, I'm a big fan of that as well, so I know that's in production. I haven't got much else apart from that. You got anything else on that?
No, that's it. I think that's the news. It's done. It's covered. We've kicked ass on that. We're through. We've done it, and yeah.
Excellent, brilliant. All right, well, let's go into our focus of the week.
It's the
Solar Sci-Fi
focus of the week.
Right, this is a film which I think we chose this one because of an aspect of this film which has been cropping up all over the place in recent months. Very strange, very odd. It's become a kind of like a running gag, which of course are the monoliths. And of course we're talking about 2001 A Space Odyssey. So as I often do, let me ask you, Martin, how did you find this film?
I saw my dad. I went there because my parents were separate. I still got my dad's for the weekend, and he took me Friday night. He'd never seen. He wasn't really into science fiction like my real dad, and we went to. He took me to go see it. And I think he was. You're not going to believe this. I think he was expecting it was 2000 AD comic.
Oh, you're joking! Oh
yeah.
no, he didn't.
No, my stepdad, he was right into science. He used to read.
Yeah, 2000 AD.
He read to like June and all that. But I went for a week, and he said, "Oh, we're going to go see this space film, and this big alien like on poster, you know."
Yeah.
And we went to see it. I was about 10, I think. It must have been on a rerun, you know, like they were showing it again.
It's probably not the best
went
age
to
to
ABC, and we sat in there, and I was sat there. For me, it was the first intelligent science fiction film I'd seen. I was 10.
Did you appreciate it at that age, though? Because
I was just sat there gobsmacked by the whole thing. The music is beautiful, but when we left the cinema, I said to him, he said to me, he said, my God, what the fuck was that? That's what he said to me. I was like 10, and we're going like, don't ask me.
Yeah, it does. I mean, you do need to watch it you actually do need to watch it when you're a bit older as well, because it does have a lot of questions about it. I actually think this is another film where the sequel actually made the original even better. I was a big fan of 2010. I think the 2010 answered so many questions that. But at that time, just watching 2001, you do watch the end of it, and you think, what was that all about? And you do. Not so much now, because you can understand more about what it's about, and it's all about...
physics has caught up with it as well, hasn't it? Like, science is actually explaining it now, because what that craziness of that film was about is now coming out with some kind of theory now, isn't it?
Yes. So, I mean, it's such a sort of cult film. And it's a good sci-fi film is a film when you kind of have to sort of think it through, and people write books to give explanation and give more insights as to what's going on. And of course, then as I've already mentioned, the 2010 sequel, which was made in the 80s, actually did answer a lot of the questions, and they even had a lot of some of the characters coming back from the original in some sort of transcended form or something. I think that's the best way to describe it. But yeah, I mean, I did like it. Yeah, he's like.
Well, I the second time I saw it, it premiered on the BBC for the first time a couple of years later, and I watched it at home. We're on Sunday. I remember at night we're on Sunday, and my stepdad sort of explained a lot of it to me. About 12. And he was saying, oh, well, he's in a spacewalk there. He's going to this other part of the universe or whatever. And he's in a zoo or like some monitoring thing where they're studying.
Yeah. Yeah.
He quite simplified it. But in the film, you're dealing with the aliens that are at the next level. Because I've read all 4 books now.
Yes, which I've not done. So you're ahead of me with this one. Yeah.
Sure. But the film, I mean, it's one. I've got to say, it's one of the best science fiction films ever made.
Well, it's very epic. I mean, like I said, before Star Wars, this is one of the first... I mean, technically, and people say this, and it's actually interesting, that Star Wars is more science fantasy than science fiction, as we all know. But it felt epic when you see the Discovery and the music and the space stations and everything like that. There weren't many films at that point which just had this feel... And this is made in the 60s. This is made about 10 years before Star Wars Episode 4. And it was just so much. I mean, the monolith and the way that the monolith started to evolve, apes becoming more than just apes into the next phase of evolution, i.e. humanity. Because I love that influence of the monolith. This alien entity influenced our own lives and our own history to a degree back in the day. There's lots of very, very clever connections with...
It's like, back then, I think like with science fiction, a lot of it were cheap, and you got some quality, but there were 3 films that were gold standard to me for science fiction. First was The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yeah, that's a classic film.
Which is a classic.
I've got it.
And then there was Forbidden Planet.
Yes, which we've already reviewed.
And then I think 2001 really cemented that science fiction could be took in a totally different way.
Yeah, I mean...
make it respectable.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I'm a big fan of the 1953 War of the Worlds as well, but that's slightly different.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of that one. That's one of my favourite films of that era. But as you say, those early films, And what else was it? This Island Earth was another one I think I liked as well. There's quite a few films.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Tifa-Leds.
Yeah. And I can think of a few others. But yeah, I like the fact... It's funny because you had Leonard Rossiter was in it as well, and it's kind of...
He was on the space
what's Rigsby
station,
doing on the space station?
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
But the thing is with the film, I mean, I think with the special effects, I mean, I've got it on Blu-ray.
Special effects are really good. It holds up very well. It looks great.
Especially the computer graphics. I know they want computer graphics, but they look like the real thing. I suppose them ships and the technology, it made a lot of sense for the rotating space station. The shuttle to Mars, to the moon, and the moon base as well at Clavius and that.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, artificial intelligence with HAL 9000, which of course we only found out in the second film that he went wrong because he had contradictory data, and that wasn't really explained fully in the first film. Again, the sequel gives much more and actually enhances. I think some people probably wouldn't like that. I think some people might have liked 2001 as a film of mystery, or where you can make your own mind about exactly what's going on. Whereas, of course, the sequel did answer some of those questions. But I still just think it's an awesome film. I'm really glad that they made a sequel. It, like I said, it still holds up really well. You watch it in 1080p with the sound, and it's quite an epic film. I do like it.
Oh yeah, it's. I mean the music as well. When it starts with the planets going into alignment. And
yes,
breathtaking, isn't it?
I know. Yeah, absolutely. Did you like all the actors involved with it? Did you like all the characters?
One of them were in Star Trek, wasn't he?
He was.
He played
Gary Lockwood.
Where No Man Has Gone Before.
Yeah, Gary Lockwood was in it, and he played the one... what was his name?
Jay Dullier, he was the other one. I think he was Dave Bowman, I think.
Keir Dullea was David Bowman.
Yeah.
And
another one, Frank Poole, wasn't he? I think
Frank Poole was Gary Lockwood's character,
Yeah.
and David Bowman technically appeared in the second one as well.
I love that computer, man. You were like, hello, Dave. You know, that's how it
I'm
is.
sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
This very sort of monotone, kind of no emotional, always just a static voice.
Are you happy today, Dave?
Yes. How are you today? And Doctor, and of course, again, I don't know who did the voice of Dave. Might say on this thing I've got in front of me actually, because he also a guy called Douglas Rain was the voice of HAL 9000. He came back in the sequel 2010 as well.
He did.
But it was very clever in the sequel, which I, as you can tell, I'd like to do a review of that as well.
Oh, definitely.
Because there was another 9000 unit called SAL 9000, and she had a female voice. Her voice, even though it was female, the way that whoever did that, SAL 9000, although different, sounded very much like 9000, HAL 9000. I just thought it was very well done. I mean, at the end of the second one, of course, it ended up with what happened, but do you wish they'd have made... I mean, do you think the 2001 could be, for instance, remade again in a brand new... I was going to say, I would hope that they wouldn't.
No, I'd rather go now that we go with the next two films to the books.
Do you think that's possible they could do that now?
I think they should do 2060 and 3001, yeah. I think they should, yeah. There's no point going back over it. Because, number one, it's an insult to the original. It's a gold standard film. It can't be. It's got to be... I mean, it's sacrilege just to even think about remaking that. Because they'd end up bollocking it all up anyway.
Yeah.
You know, by trying to get deep with it and put it into grey area. The film is what it is.
Well, why is it? Why, apart from, again, I'm singing the praise of Mandalorian, why is it that most things you watch which are new, made in 2020 or 2019, why is it most stuff, they just seem to get it wrong? Why can't they make it? I
don't know. Because I don't think they should remake things now. I've come to a conclusion.
But then why not make new series? I mean, I watched the film the other day, and it was something which... I can't think of the name of it. It's going into my thing, so I've still got it on here. Give me a second. I can't remember what it's called now. It was called The Colour Out of Space. And it was a sci-fi film. It was actually all right, but it was not as... It was with Nicolas Cage. And it wasn't as good as I'd hoped it would be. I mean, I do still see the odd good new thing, but it's most the older films I tend to like more.
There's nothing to rate about anything recently.
I just don't understand part of the Mandalorian and the Orville's.
Yeah, apart from that and what The Expanse. I mean, even like I'm not going off subject, but it's like the Terminator. They're on about doing another one now.
Yeah, I know.
And what they're going to do it again when it all goes back into the 21st century and start it all again. I mean, they don't move on from. It's the same format over and over again.
Well, there seems to be a real lack of kind of creativity in Hollywood.
Yeah. And it's like they want to add things to it and think, oh, yeah, we can make it a bit different. I mean, it was like V. I'm a big fan of V, the original series.
Me too, absolutely. I love V.
And then I started watching the new one they made a few years ago, and it wasn't bad, but...
It's all right. I've seen the whole thing.
It didn't work.
No, I mean, I think it's okay. I don't dislike it. I don't love it either.
No, I agree with that.
Mind you, I've just finished watching the Under the Dome again, and it is complete shite by the end of it.
It is.
The first season's good. The first season was quite good, and then it just started to lose it after that, and it just went in circles. It came into a total mess. So again,
and then I watched the end of that. We'll have to talk about that because
I'd like to review that.
It was.
I got completely lost.
It was a cop out.
Oh, it was just a complete mess.
After all that, it was just a cop out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've watched it yesterday. I still can't remember because I kept drifting off and looking at my computer and looking at my watch and stuff. So let's go back to 2001. So in the time since it's been made, as far as I'm concerned, it definitely holds up. I think that it's a real iconic film. I'm so glad they made it. And again, it's another one of those films. It was like a wake-up call for people like George Lucas, for people like Steven Spielberg, for people in the future to make these wonderful epic films in the genre that we love. And of course, since then, there's been so many great films. I
mean, they've made a couple of films like of Elder. I mean, there was the one called Arrival.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
And then there was the other one that was sort of quite deep and intelligent, Interstellar.
Yeah, I've seen that as well. That was
You
good.
know,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. There are
there's
some
films
good
like
films.
that, is which I put along that line, like 2000.
Yeah, there is definitely
But they
a
are
parallel.
capable of doing the odd thing that
Few and far between there.
You want a film. There's always a film that stands out within a decade, isn't there? Within that 10-year span, there's that one movie that stands out above all the rest. And 2001 is like top of the range for the intelligent movies. And then even like Contact with Jodie Foster, I love that film.
I saw it. I never clicked with it. I need to see it again. I saw it a long time ago. I just remember I didn't get much out of that. But it's another.
But it's an intelligent film.
Yeah,
it's an and it's written by Carl Sagan and
Yeah.
Alpha Six. But these films, they stand out.
Absolutely.
But then when they come in and
you watch something like Skyline. Have you seen?
2001 again? It's no.
Did you see Skyline?
I saw the first one.
What did you think of that?
What about?
Because my family panned it. They
I
couldn't
don't
stand
want to
it.
sort like because I'm terrified that you might be a big fan of it.
No,
and
I'm not.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. That's exactly why I
the
brought it
trailer
up.
was superb.
Yeah, I saw the sequel as well, and that wasn't. Yeah, it was a bit of a mess.
Oh God, we're gonna have to do Skyline.
Oh, yeah, of course we will. Of course we will.
Fucking Skyline.
I've seen the sequel as well, and that's.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
yeah,
I
know.
was
Yeah,
never bothered.
yeah. I mean, there's so many films. What's that film? It's a South African film, and it's the only sci-fi film I've ever seen from South Africa that I'm aware of, and it's the one
with them creatures that eat dog food or cat food. Or
yeah, and they're like in a reservation or something.
I forgot what that's called now.
Oh, what's that called? I want to because I thought that was
I know what
awesome.
you're on about, yeah.
Yeah, you. As soon as I said it was from South Africa, you knew what I was going to say.
Yeah, because did that sequel. They did the same director did that Elysium.
Oh, did he? I quite liked
Yeah,
Elysium.
he's same director Elysium with Matt Damon.
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't know
he's
he
same
did a sequel to
director.
that. Oh, I didn't know it was the same guy did that.
Yeah, because that film, some at
Oh.
9, District 9.
District 9, that's it. Yeah,
Is
you
that
got it.
District
Yeah,
9?
District 9.
Well, that's classed as a highly intelligent film.
I
It's
liked
about
it. It was
racism.
I know it was racism, but
Very clever.
of course, that was like Alienation was a perfect example of racism used in
Yeah.
Alienation and District 9 have got some parallels. Sorry, we're going off topic
you're right,
again.
I thought of that, yeah.
We honestly, us two talk about sci-fi. I mean, we must be amazing how we can just go into
Alienation with James
Alienation.
Cameron.
Oh, that's another good review.
a
Alienation is
fantastic
great.
film.
I like that. And
And
of
the
course
TV
the series.
series.
Yeah.
wasn't bad.
Yeah, I mean, we should do one for the film and one for the TV
Yeah.
series or something,
Yeah.
but that's in the
Have
future.
that for the-
Sorry, we're going into all these other films. Yeah, all right. So basically, what we're
but there is
saying
a
is,
comparison because if it wasn't for 2001,
yeah,
you wouldn't have got Alienation. You wouldn't have got District 9. You wouldn't
Yeah.
have got Close Encounters.
no,
It's all-
that's not what I was
all
going to
from-
say. Close Encounters was a really intelligent '70s sci-fi film, and it's a
what I
classic.
mean,
Yeah, we're not, yeah.
But you wouldn't have got these films if Star Wars. It started at the
Star
motion
Wars,
picture.
no,
You wouldn't have got
exactly,
it.
yeah.
You wouldn't have got it if it wasn't for because 2001.
Star Trek: The Motion Picture was definitely influenced by 2001.
Yeah, because 2001 also set the gold standard for special effects. What
Yes,
you
it
could
did.
do with this.
Yeah, exactly. And it was not strings and dodgy models and stuff. It was, and the music and it was just and the way that the angles of the ship slowly tilting over with them. It was just done so well. And it's done in 1968 for Christ's sake. You know, so you can't fault these sort of shows. So just to round off, yeah, I think it's an absolute gem of a film. I love the sequel as well. I can't wait to review that in the future episode, which we will do. And I'll give. Oh, what would you give it out of 10?
10.
Yeah, I'll give it. I'll probably give it a 10. Yeah, for what it is. I mean, I've got.
For what it is,
for what it is and the time it was made. Yeah, I think it was a 10. Absolutely, probably one of the best sci-fi films from the 1960s. And I'm really glad that you and I enjoyed it as much as we have done. Right. Okay. That's done for the focus of the week. What are we doing next, Martin?
Well, we're just making this up. We're gonna bring the old Predator back, and he's gonna be fighting Boba Fett.
All right, let's hit the jingle, which I have to find because I've not played it for about 8 months. Here we go.
Predator versus.
What if he doesn't survive? He's worth a lot to me.
Right, Martin. So we just talked about this very briefly before we started recording. That we're going to do a new topic in the new year, But we just wanted to finish off this year with the old gem of Predator versus. In case you're not familiar, Martin often came up with an idea of the Predator landing in a well-known film or TV scenario where he fights characters and see who would actually win in the battle of the Predator versus. So, because of course Boba Fett is now back, I'll let you lead. If you start off the scenario, if you can think of it that quickly, I'll see.
Are we doing it in a two-parter, or should we just do it?
I don't mind. What would you prefer?
Yeah, because we changed format in January, so is there one more show next week?
There's one more show, and then we've got the bloopers special for the end of the year.
Okay, right. Well, let's do a two-parter then. Right, the Guild of Bounty Hunters put out an award. Something on this planet has been slaughtering other bounty hunters and stormtroopers. Something on this planet has been killing off all kinds of people.
Okay.
And aliens, and they don't know what it is. And so it goes out. The Empire actually says, look, this officer from Empire turns up and says, look, there's something going on. It wiped out a detachment of stormtroopers and miss all the time anyway. So they're... And all this has happened, and what we're going to do is we want to send in a team of bounty hunters to hunt this creature down, and there's a big reward on it then.
Right.
And meanwhile, the Predator was in his spaceship, went through a black hole, ended up in the Star Wars universe, crashed on this sort of desert jungle planet.
Right.
And he's just been slaughtering. He's loving it. Stormtroopers, all Jedi Knights, all of it. He's just taking them out. He's on holiday. So Boba Fett's called in, clean house. Him and an assassination droid, and this other bounty hunter. And they get paid a shitload of money if they bring its head, as proof. Because there's something on this planet, everybody's after it, but the Predator seems to be just stopping everybody. The Predator doesn't have a clue what's there, this treasure or whatever.
Yeah.
So Boba Fett flies off into deep space to go to this planet. They land on planet, meanwhile Predator's watching them. There's Boba Fett and there's 4 other bounty hunters there. And one's a Gamoran, one of them guards from Jabba's palace.
Oh, yeah. A
Jawa, 2 Jawas.
Yeah. Oh God, Jawas! Oh God, they're not going to do well. Are they?
Yeah, and who else would you like there? Who else?
Wookiee. Let's have a Wookiee.
All right, I've got a Wookiee, right, with a crossbow laser.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So they all land and meet up. Boba Fett says, "Look, we're going to form teams, right, and we're going to hunt this fucking thing down. We're going to take it out, bring its head back, and get paid, right? 5-minute job." So anyway, they're all like floating off into the forest. Boba Fett's there, like moving around. The Wookiee's he's in his planet, and you've got the assassination droid that gets taken out in a minute, banged on. 2 Jawas are like looking around, they just get vaporised. There's nothing left at Jawas but smoke and a pair of Y-fronts just floating down to the floor. And because Jawas wear Y-front underpants. And they end up, so like there's the Wookiee anyway. Wookiee sort of like think, I'm going to fuck over Boba Fett because I'm going to get all money. He sort of like sneaks off. And he's using his Wookiee senses, and he senses something, and he sees it's moving in the trees.
Right.
And the laser bolt goes off, and the Wookiee's firing crossbow arrows everywhere. Laser arrows, like that. And he's screaming, "Whoa, whoa," doing all that noise. Anyway, it's that Predator laughter coming out.
Yeah.
And the Predator laughter's making the Wookiee noises back. In Wookiee. So like we'll call him Goobaka, right?
Goobaka, yeah. Goobaka is like a cousin.
Right,
a cousin, yeah.
So Goobaka's there, right? And he's firing on, he's using his, so like he climbs up the tree, there's Goobaka, but he gets half his body blown off, the Predator lands and fires a net around other half of his body, goes in with its knife and chops its head off. And like it starts like lifting up, bolt of lightning's going off in the background. Predator's holding Wookiee's head, keeps its crossbow fingers a souvenir.
Right.
Meanwhile, on his scanner on his helmet, Boba Fett with Mandalorian armor looking around, and he suddenly sees something on his scanner, just an outline, just a heat trace. Don't know what it is, but it's there. And he sort of like goes running off, and he fires off a load of laser bolts and a couple of wrist rockets.
Right.
But this thing disappears. and we'll have to wait till next.
Okay, right. Well, to be continued, shall we say? That's interesting.
Well, what do you think? What do you think? I mean, where do you want?
Well, what I think is that
I know you thought put this for a bit of comedy, you know.
Yeah, but what I think is that a surprise, which you might want to use, is that predators are from our universe, and because they're in a foreign universe, and their physics are slightly different. It means that anything that comes from our universe means that in their universe they have a very high metachlorian count. So the predator might be able to be aware of the force, perhaps because it's so strong in essence to his body that he learns that he's got this extra power, and that he's going to use that against Boba Fett. No, okay. Well, let's just see. That's what an idea.
Right, I like that. Where the predator suddenly.
But he's still learning. He's still learning.
Yeah,
but he's still learning. He doesn't know anything about it. He just knows that he can. When he thinks about stuff, he's sensing things, and but he's still vulnerable because this is a whole new universe and new abilities that he doesn't really know. All right, that's the idea I want to throw into your equation next week.
Right. All right. I will get that. For that.
Excellent. That's brilliant.
So yeah.
Okay.
Predator versus Boba Fett next week.
Part 2. Excellent. I'll put in a few.
How do you feel about the Jawas getting wiped out?
Oh, well, Jawas are Jawas. I mean, Jawas are... Yeah, okay. I don't mind. I like Jawas. I don't mind if they... I mean, we've never seen a Jawa get slaughtered in Star Wars history before, have we? So,
no, they did. They got slaughtered by stormtroopers, didn't they? First movie.
Oh, yeah. And actually, they didn't. They got... in episode 2, again, The Mandalorian, he was on one of their little... What are those tank things that they have? They're really cool.
Them
transporter things. I love those things. And he was... They're
thieving little bastards.
I know. And he did he vaporized a few, if you remember. And he actually pulled some off the top of the transporter to their death. So, yeah. All right. Well, let's see about that. I love it. Right, I am so sorry that I've been praising Mandalorian so much this week. I sound like a scratch record, and I apologise. But, I can't wait for Friday, and that'll be after this is released, so we'll be... yes. And I'm really, really careful not to send you any... Because I see an episode, and I think to myself, oh, God, Martin, what is it? Did he like it? I thought, no, he might not have seen it yet. And I thought to myself, I could do a screen grab of the Razor Quest exploding. I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. He'll kill me. So I try to be as quiet as I can. But yeah, I'm like a big kid when it comes to this series.
Yes.
Right. We're going to finish off with an optional thing here. I was looking for a song for 2001: A Space Odyssey, and I came across on YouTube a guy by the name of Corey Henriksen uploaded a band by the name of Circle of Heat, doing a live version of a 2001 A Space Odyssey theme song. So what I've done is I've contacted them and asked their permission to use this on today's show. What I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this now. So if they don't contact me, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for my fallback, which is one we might have played ages ago. It's the Patrick Stewart Drunk at a event singing I Can See Your Belly to James Corden.
Yeah, before we go, just like to ask someone connected to 2001. What do you think these monoliths popping up all over the world? There's one in Isle of Man now.
It's a weird, Isle of Wight just down the road from me. I think it's quite fun. I mean, I think the first one was really bizarre, but it was supposed to be some form of art form, and I think now people are just sort of copying the idea. What do you think then? Do you think it's something more?
One appeared in my back garden today.
Did it? Oh dear! Did you get a picture of it? Did you get a picture of it?
My God, it's starting to go bright. I don't know what's going on. I can hear noises. It's calling me over. It's calling me over.
So this might be your last ever show?
It could be, yes.
Okay, well, it's been nice
to be continued.
To be continued, but it's 2020, so nothing goes straightforward in 2020. Right, well, we're leaving you with either one of those choices. I'm obviously not sure which one's playing right now, but obviously you'll know that as you hear it. So next week we are going to be focusing, because we're near Christmas, what we're going to do is we're looking for sci-fi films which have a Christmassy theme. I came up with Gremlins, which I think was quite a good one. And so we'll do that next week, and then the last one will be our Christmas / end of year bloopers compilation. Very, very funny stuff that we've done over the last year. and I think it should give people a good laugh. So we'll catch you next week on the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. Live long and prosper.
angry.